uncharted desert isle with Gilligan, the skipper too, a millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan's Island.
And the Dodgers were defeated in the ninth inning. And now for the local news. There's still no word on the fate of the crew and passengers aboard the SS Minnow, a small sightseeing boat which left Honolulu Yacht Harbor 2 days ago for a 3-hour island cruise. The tiny craft was apparently caught in the surprise storm which hit the area that day. The crew consisted of a young first mate, Willie Gilligan. His skipper, Jonas Grumpy, is an old salt in these waters. The passenger list included one of the world's wealthiest men, billionaire Thurston Howell III, and his socialite wife, the international hostess and patroness of the arts, Lovey Howell. Also aboard the missing craft were Miss Mary Ann Summers of Winfield, Kansas, and Miss Ginger Grant of Hollywood. Mary Ann Summers, an attractive farm girl, won the cruise on a radio call-in show and was dubbed Winfield's luckiest citizen. Glamorous Ginger Grant boarded the boat following a nightclub singing engagement, still wearing the evening dress from her last performance. The final member of the missing group is Professor Roy Hinckley, research scientist and well-known scoutmaster. Hope for their survival grows dim. And now for the news from Wall Street. Today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed to a new...
Shut that off! That's the best part! Gilligan? Gilligan! What is it, Skipper? How can I sleep with all this noise going on? All this snoring.
Any snoring, Skipper?
I want you to go back to sleep. And this time, I want you to sleep without snoring. That is an order.
How can I know if I'm snoring if I'm asleep, Skipper? That doesn't make any sense.
Sense? You want sense? Listen to me, Gilligan. We've been on this island for 2 weeks. Already, we got more furniture than a hotel. We live in better constructed houses than anyone in the world. All made by hand, out of bamboo and vines. Our clothes are always spotless. Nobody ever sweats or goes to the bathroom or gets dirty. Apparently nobody fools around either, despite the fact we've got 2 gorgeous young women running around half naked all the time. The professor can build cars, battery chargers, a nuclear power generator, but he can't fix a hole in a boat. For God's sakes, we're 2 grown men who sleep in our shoes, and you want sense.
I understand, Skipper. I understand the reason you are mad. My snoring really can get awfully bad. But living here together means sleeping in the weather. You've got a nice warm hut, so just be glad.
I just prepared a yummy gourmet meal, which on an island may appear unreal. But if our vegetation can feed the population, who are we to question its appeal?
I just don't understand how all of this occurs. It's 98 degrees and yet you're standing there first. This island is bizarre. It's very plain to see. This makes no sense to me.
I understand entirely what you mean, Captain. There's some awfully unusual things that go on here. For example, Professor, if you really had a brain, the answer to my question you'd explain. If you can make reductions in Lovey's liposuctions, how hard is it to radio a plane?
Now that Mr. Howell's on a roll, there is a question that disturbs my soul. Upon this island nation, we're dying of frustration. Why don't you make some type of birth control?
Your queries I'll review most analytically, with theorems and logic and with reciprocity. Perhaps I could construct a bamboo IUD.
That makes no sense to me. And another thing that makes no sense to me is what all of you are doing in my hut.
Your hut? Hang on, Adam.
Move along. I'll take you with you. Garrison, get up. So you see, little buddy, this island defies all the laws of logic and common sense. All the lunacy going on around here, it doesn't really seem unreasonable for me to ask you to sleep without snoring, now does it?
Not at all, Skipper. Good night.
Good night, Gilligan.
Well, there you are, Gilligan. A perfect apparatus for washing clothes.
Well, thanks, Professor, but how does it work?
Well, it's quite simple, actually. You load the clothes into the top of this barrel, add some fresh water and soap, and pedal. I've applied some basic formulas of theoretic physics, the formula for Fulcrum mechanics, and added a simple yet highly effective agitation device constructed of various flora indigenous to our island. The only thing missing from this equation is an energy source.
An energy source?
Why, yes, as you know, Gilligan, no modern convenience can operate without external stimulus. Well, in layman's terms, we need a workhorse.
But there aren't any horses on this island.
No, but there is a Gilligan.
You mean I have to wash clothes in this thing right now?
Well, no, not right now. First, you have to fetch some water.
But Professor...
No, and then you promise to sweep out my hut. Now, how can I be expected to find a way off the island with a messy laboratory? There's sand all over my floor.
The sand is the floor!
Wait a minute now. Who's the professor here?
Well, you are, Professor, but you see...
No buts, Gilligan. Now, you get to work on these clothes, and I have to analyze this stool sample.
Always the same old story. I have to do everyone else's chores for them. Fetch the water, sweep the hut. Why do I get the feeling my life's in a rut? It's depressing, but it's true. I get work no one else wants to do.
Gilligan, my boy, why on earth are you doing the professor's chores for him? He should be doing them for himself.
Well, thanks, Mr. Howell.
Precisely. That way, you're free to do mine. Now, I want my bath water drawn at approximately 83 degrees Fahrenheit, my polo pony needs repair, my golf gloves need polishing, and fix me a dry martini while you're at it. Now, hop to it, my boy. Good lad. By George.
Mr. Howell, why do you always have to sound so much like Mr. Magoo? Now you're acting like a jerk. Being rich means you don't have to work.
I draw my bath water at approximately 83 degrees. I fix my polo pony. Do that, would you please?
Gilligan, what are you doing? Don't tell me. You hit yourself on the head with a coconut and you think you're Mr. Howell. We're not supposed to do that for at least 3 more episodes. Don't you ever read TV Guide?
Sorry, Ginger.
Well, that's all right. I've heard rumors you electrocute yourself in the Christmas episode.
Well, that gives me something to look forward to.
That's right. Just keep thinking happy thoughts while you do my laundry.
Now the water's turning red. I guess that's from the stuff that she puts on her head. This needs rinsing through and through. I need buckets, but this thing will do. Wow, I bet you can hold 3 gallons of water on each side. Hi, Skipper.
Hey, little buddy, have I got a surprise for you?
Well, what is it, Skipper?
A load of fresh laundry. Wash it in good health.
But I was going fishing today, Skipper.
Well, no one says you can't go fishing. Just as soon as you do the laundry, sweep out the hut, gather some fresh well water, pick a few coconuts, you'll be free to fish as much as you like.
Thanks, Skipper.
Sure thing, little buddy.
Now the skipper's on my case. How I'd love to throw orders right back in his face. Being manly is his bag. But at nighttime he dresses in drag. Well, not really. But I did see him wearing Mrs. Howell's hat once. That's it, I'm finished. I'm not gonna do their chores for them anymore. I'm not gonna fetch the water, or sweep the hut, or fix the polo pony, or draw the bath water approximately 83 degrees, or...
What?
Nothing.
Lunches.
Thurston, dear, don't you think you're a bit harsh on poor little Gilligan?
Absolutely not, my dear. How is the boy ever going to get ahead in the world unless he tackles some truly hard work? How do you think I got where I am today?
Well, your father left you millions of dollars.
Oh, well, be that as it may, the boy has to learn something about honest labor. I mean, he's bungling, incompetent, thick-witted. He's an absolute moron. What could he possibly do?
Well, he could always become governor of Alabama.
By George, what an idea.
But I still feel we should help the poor boy.
A capital idea, my love. I'll tell you what. Gilligan hasn't got time, so we're resting for him.
Oh, how marvelous. I always like to do my fair share. Darling, here's to us.
Who else? Time for the midday stock report.
And the entire community is now back to normal. And on the news from Hollywood, the whole of Tinseltown is buzzing over the new evidence uncovered in the Oswald Vanderhorn murder. As you may recall, Vanderhorn was murdered shortly after the release of his 8th film, Rango, Rango, Tango. Police Inspector Harry Britton announced today that the new suspect is the film's star, Miss Ginger Grant of Hollywood. Do not attempt to apprehend her, as she may be a homicidal maniac.
A homicidal maniac?
Yes, a homicidal maniac. Again, we repeat, Ginger Grant is now a suspect in the Oswald Vanderhorn murder. We now return you to our regularly scheduled program, Happy Talk.
Darling, did you hear that?
Heavens to Lizzie Borden, I did.
But what on earth shall we do?
Avoiding Ginger comes to mind.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of self-defense.
Delightful idea, my pet. What do you suggest?
Perhaps we should put bars on the windows, what, with a deranged killer in the neighborhood?
Capital idea. Just what we need, a few neighborhood bars.
But Winston, dear, shouldn't we run? Shouldn't we hide?
A howl never runs in the face of danger. He walks very fast.
Oh, yes.
Ring the radio, no telling who lives here.
I still don't understand how you're going to do it, Marianne.
It's very simple, Gilligan. I can make a batter from powdered coconut, papaya juice, and wild duck eggs.
Yeah, that sounds awful. You can't make pancakes out of that.
Why not? The Waffle House does.
Yeah, but did you ever try to eat one?
Sure, lots of times.
Sober?
Gilligan! Well, that's why we'll need lots of syrup. Now, someone's going to have to get it from a tree.
From a tree?
Why, sure, we cut a hole in the tree and we wait for the sap to come out.
But I'm already out. I'm standing right here.
Not you, the tree sap.
Tree sap to make syrup? You're kidding.
No. Now, you don't mind helping me, do you, Gilligan?
Not at all.
Thanks. You're just the sweetest boy I know.
That was friendly. That was neat. She was nice and she kissed me, and that's kind of sweet. I'll get syrup, and that's when I'll be carrying buckets again.
Hurry up, Gilligan.
Gilligan, do this. Gilligan, do that. If only my name wasn't Gilligan.
Oh, reactionary. Probably leave it floating in the sails.
Now, Howell, are you sure about this? I mean, after all, murder's a mighty serious thing to be accusing somebody of.
I heard it on the radio, Captain. If it was on the radio, it must be true.
And we repeat, Elvis Presley has once again been sighted at a local trailer park. It seems that
Well, Mrs. Howell said that you gentlemen wanted to see me.
Well, that's right, Professor. Apparently, Ginger has been accused of murder.
Yes, there's been new evidence uncovered in a trial back home, and Ginger is the prime suspect.
Why, this is quite serious. We must investigate all possibilities and make sure that after eliminating all contingencies and superficial evidence, that Ginger is either exonerated or proven guilty of the alleged misdeed.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
I
right,
agree wholeheartedly.
Forgive me.
Here,
To
here.
put it simply, we must talk with Ginger and try to straighten the matter out.
If we get too close to Ginger, we might get laid out.
Now, don't be ridiculous, Skipper. Now, Ginger is still our friend and innocent until proven guilty. Now, Mr. Howell, will you please go find Ginger and tell her to meet us at the Skipper in Gilligan's hut in 15 minutes?
Yes, right away, Professor.
My hut? Why my hut?
You don't think I want that maniac to know where I live, do you?
Mr. Howell, where are you going in such a hurry?
I don't want to alarm you, Marianne, but there's been some terrible news. Apparently, Ginger is accused of murdering someone with an ice pick.
Oh, no.
Terrible. Oh, sorry.
Oh, Gilligan, the most awful thing has happened. Ginger killed someone with an ice pick. She stabbed him 3 times in the head.
Oh, no! Professor! Professor! Ginger just killed 300 people with an ice pick and chopped off their heads!
300? This is getting serious.
I know, I'm gonna hide my head!
Oh, Mrs. Howell, will you please go and tell the Skipper that I've gone on ahead to the hut. Apparently, things are much worse than we thought. It seems that Ginger has masterminded the murder of 3,000 people and put their heads on display on ice picks.
How ghastly!
Professor! Professor!
Oh, Captain, you just missed him, but he did tell me to tell you that Ginger has killed 3 million people by picking on them and then buried them in the ice. Oh, how dreadful!
Ah! Gilligan, little buddy, run for your life. Ginger just murdered 30 million people at the North Pole with nothing but an ice pick.
Would anyone like an ice-cold glass of mango juice?
Oh.
Now, what can I have said to make them faint?
Now, when Ginger gets here, let's try to keep this as casual as possible. There's no need to upset her needlessly, and I certainly don't want to offend her.
You have our word on that, Professor.
Here, here.
Excellent. Oh, now, here she is. Come in, Ginger.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, we did, Ginger, but there's no need to be concerned. I want you to have a seat. We just want to talk to you.
So you sent Hal all the way down to the beach hut to find me? You want something, Professor. Just spit it out. What do you want?
I can think of a few things.
Skipper. Now, Ginger, we just want to ask you a few questions about Oswald Vanderhorn.
I'm afraid there's no smoking allowed on the island, Ginger.
I am smoking, Mr. Howell. What are you going to do, drown me?
Ginger, did you know Oswald Vanderhorn?
Yeah, he was a movie producer.
Did you know him well?
Let's just say he gave me pleasure.
Case dismissed. Sit down. I'm afraid stands right now.
What's the matter, Mr. Howell? Getting a little excited?
Why, I haven't slept with another woman besides Lovey for 15 long and happy years. 15 long legs. Years. 15... Case dismissed!
Mr. Howell!
I might be married, Professor, but I'm not dead. Well, it worked for the Kennedys.
Excuse me. I noticed you're island from my plane. I'm here to rescue you.
Did you hear that?
We're saved.
Come here. Isn't that Ginger Grant?
Oh, yes, it is.
I heard she killed 30 trillion people with just a rusty safety pin. Forget it, buddy. I'm out of here.
No, wait, it's all rumor. Another day, another guest star. How many does that make this month?
This is ridiculous. I'm going to try to get some news on the radio.
The murderer in the Oswald Vanderhorn case has been apprehended. The killer was found last night in the Hollywood nightclub after police took fingerprint samples from the ice pick in Vanderhorn's back. Ginger Grant is no longer a suspect in this or any other murder. Unfortunately, the world-famous pilot Ronway Feldman, who claims to have seen Miss Grant on a tiny South Pacific island, was hit on the head by a coconut and now has total amnesia. You're listening to Plot Device Radio, the station of choice among situation comedies.
Well, did you hear that?
Ginger is innocent.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Chin up, Captain. I'll meet you in the clearing.
Well, what did you expect? This is Gilligan's Island.
As it turns out, Ginger was completely innocent.
What a terrible ordeal. Why, if that had happened to me, I would have completely come unglued.
Yes, that would have been anyone's basic instinct. Oh, by the way, what's for dinner?
Oh, pancakes, and Gilligan's out getting the syrup.
Wonderful. That'll keep him out of my hair. You know, we really should do something nice for Ginger to make up for the recent rash of unpleasantness. I know. We'll let her sing tonight at dinner. Well, she gets such amusement out of her pedestrian forms of entertainment.
That's a nice idea.
Well, thank you. Now I must get to work.
Well, you should have a nice, quiet afternoon. Everyone else is down at the lagoon swimming. It looks like it's just us.
You know, Marianne, I sometimes feel rather isolated from our fellow castaways. I somehow feel left out.
I know what you mean. It's like they're the important castaways, and you and I are just, well,
The rest?
yeah. Well, I better go and start supper. Good luck on your experiment, Professor.
Oh, thank you. Now, if this experiment works, it could get us off the island and back home. Ah! God, what's the use? No matter how hard I try, I just can't do it. A man with my brilliant mind, an MA from MIT, a BA from MSU, a PhD from UCLA, and a MBA from NYU, and I can't fix a hole in a boat. Maybe that LSD I did with LBJ and DC had something to do with it. No, that's impossible. I'm still a genius, and I can make, create, or invent anything from materials off this island except a boat. I can solve a huge equation and soothe your consternation by explaining trigonometry. On matters scientific, I truly am terrific. I could have struck it rich on Jeopardy. The only points on which my mind is ailing are the basic principles of sailing. I can use coconut protractors, banana peel refractors, construct a huge computer from a tree. And if you need some power, I'll just dissect a flower and manufacture floral energy. In spite of this, my mind is turning blue, because there's just one thing I cannot do. We must get off this island, even though I strongly do suspect it might not be so easy. We had one boat and Gilligan wrecked it. Get me off this island, I'm catching quite a cold from jungle vapor, and I just now noticed we're running out of toilet paper. Get me off this island. Please succeed where I have failed. I can quote the kings of England and the history of Thailand, so tell me why I can't get 7 people off this island.
I'm sorry, Professor. I just knocked over that nuclear reactor you made from the palm leaves and guava juice.
Of all the mindless, idiotic Gilligan, how could you?
I don't know why you're so mad. I'm the one who's gonna glow in the dark from now on.
This is worse than when you drank the radioactive seeds.
But not as bad as the incident with the nitroglycerin.
Get out of here! I must get off this island. Someone listen to this little sonnet. There's got to be a rescue. Gilligan's life depends upon it. Get me off this island. Send me out across the foam. Although I'm feeling weary and I often feel like crying, I've got to find a way. I've simply got to keep on trying until we finally make it back to home, sweet home.
I couldn't aspire to anything higher than feel a desire to make you my own. I wanna be loved by you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone.
Dustin, dear, tell me again why she's singing.
Even-numbered episode, Ginger sings. Odd-numbered episode, we almost get off the island.
Oh, well, I hope you're all hungry.
Oh, boy, pancakes!
Gilligan found the syrup.
Well done, my boy.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Howell. I found it next to that tree behind the pimento bush.
Pimento?
I think he means palmetto.
Oh, dash it all. For a moment, I thought you'd found something to put in those fake olives the professor made for my martinis.
Well, be that as it may, I want to congratulate Mary Ann on her pancakes. Here's to a new taste treat.
How delightful. The captain is enjoying his meal.
Why, yes, he's going.
Is it nummy in the tummy, Captain?
Wait a minute, I don't think he's enjoying this at all. It looks like he's in some type of distress.
What's wrong, Skipper?
Why doesn't he open his
I
mouth?
don't think he can open his mouth.
These pancakes do appear to be sticking a bit.
Dustin, darling, I can't seem to cut this.
I've seen brand new girdles that weren't as springy as this.
He can't open his mouth.
I'll help you, Skipper.
Gilligan! Well, go get some water.
Oh, I say, Captain, I once had this problem with my polo pony. Here we are, leg in the stirrup. 1, 2, bought that at Union Furniture, did you?
Thanks. Fortunately, that syrup hadn't set yet.
Yeah, thanks, Professor. I thought I'd never get my mouth. Gilligan, you idiot!
I'm so sorry, Skipper. Here, Skipper, just sit down for a minute, Skipper. Everything will be okay. Just sit down. I'm really sorry, Skipper.
Gilligan, I know you mean well. I just keep telling myself that, but, you know, sometimes you're like a one-man disaster area just looking for a place to happen.
Yes, I know, Skipper.
Oh, you stop interrupting me. Do you realize how much trouble you bring me?
I really should tell you,
That
Skipper.
syrup could have been used for cement, and you expected me to eat it?
Yes, Skipper.
Now stop interrupting. Listen to me. If you do one more stupid thing, just one more, I am going to kill you. Do you understand?
Yes, Skipper.
All right. Now, what is it that is so important that you just had to tell me?
You're sitting on a plate full of syrup.
Gilligan, what is dumber than putting syrup in a chair?
Sitting on a chair with syrup on it?
Oh, Gilligan!
Are you stuck, Skipper?
Yes, Gilligan, I'm stuck.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Are you absolutely, positively sure?
Yes, I'm absolutely, positively sure.
Good.
Be careful, Captain. It's the last stool we've got.
Dustin, there's such matters to eat and run. We must leave.
Vulgar.
Mary Ann, is there any more of this substance anywhere on the island?
Oh, why, yes, buckets full of it. We were going to open an international hunt of pancakes.
Wonderful. I want you to get me as much as you can. I have a very interesting experiment. I think I can put this to use on.
Okay.
and that You Need Us by the Honeybees, the latest big hit that topped the charts. Next, we'll be bringing you that licky boom boom down thing that nobody can understand. But first, we have yet another Elvis Presley sighting. This time the king was spotted at the Mr. Waffle restaurant in a small southern town by a local tailor, Walter Brown McCord. According to this witness, Elvis had 3 dozen waffles, 6 pounds of bacon, and a small Diet Coke.
How ridiculous can you get? Walter Brown McCord. It's a jungle man!
Jungle man?
No, me Gilligan. Gilligan.
Gilligan.
No. Me Gilligan, you jungle man. What an idiot.
Idiot.
No, I'm not the idiot.
That's not what I hear.
Well, look, there are a lot of other people on this island. I'll take you to one of them. Maybe they can talk to you better than I can. I'll take you to the professor. He's real smart. He has a communications degree from Shelton Tech.
Well, it's a delightful idea, Ginger, but explain a bit more.
Well, you see, Mr. Howell, all we do is string up these phones on the island, and I just need you to back me.
Well, I don't know about going it alone, but my friend Jim might back us.
But how exactly does it work, dear?
Well, like I said, we have these coconut phones all over the island. Then whenever anyone calls, I answer like this. Hi, baby, you've reached 1-900-4 Ginger. What would you like to talk about? And they have to keep putting in quarters while I talk to them for only $5.95 per minute.
Ghastly idea.
What sort of pathetic slob would pay $5.95 a minute for that?
You'd be surprised.
Oh, Professor, have you seen the captain?
Yes, he was headed to the lagoon with a sack full of quarters.
Hey, everybody! Look what I found!
Why, it's a jungle man.
Yes, it is a jungle man, and judging by the length of his loincloth and his facial structures, I'd say he's obviously a member of the Lukanda tribe. Fortunately, I know a little bit about native dialects. Ahunga wini honey mooning mini honey pulusi bagumba. I beg your pardon. Well, how did you get here? By raft. You have a raft? Other side of island. Well, where did you come from? Big island, far away. Only men on island. No women. And me no play that. Me come to tiny island to look for woman. You got women. Me no have woman. What do we do about this? Live in jungle, swing from vine. You got yours, now me want mine. Me want woman for a date. Pretty girl is really great. Living in the jungle wood, monkey starting to look good. As I sit inside my cave, just one thing I truly crave. Me want woman. Well, what kind of woman do you want, jungle man? Me want pretty woman with good verbal skills. Who is a good cook and entertain well, and homemaker who can make a cave a cheerful place to raise well-adjusted children.
Burst in there, he wants me.
Little woman, don't you fret. Me not quite that desperate yet.
I am all the nerve. I've never been so insulted.
Ah! Lovey, if the man says he's not that desperate, don't argue.
How about me, tall, dark, and savage?
forgive me if I stare. How you get that color hair?
Why, it's natural, you big oaf. How do you think I could get hair dye on a desert island?
Same way you get clean clothes, television, light bulb.
I get your point.
Offer nice but must decline. Hair too big to swing on vine.
Hi, everyone. I just made some nice, fresh coffee.
Would that be Taster's Choice brand coffee?
Why, as a matter of fact.
You look very nice this evening.
So nice of you to notice.
You know, jungle can be romantic place.
If you're with the right person.
Me take you back to jungle.
Unhappy! No, we'll save you, Mary Ann.
Don't worry about it.
Hawaii is talking about the amazing rescue at sea of the mysterious Jungle Man. Clothed only in a loincloth and carrying a jar of Taster's Choice coffee, this odd character claims to have come from a mysterious tropical island inhabited by 7 people. Strangely enough, his only request has been to be taken to the state of Kansas and introduced to as many Kansas farm girls as possible. When asked to explain this odd request, his only response has been, "Lukanda, Lukanda, Lukanda, Marianne." One can only wonder what to make of this statement. And now for the weather. Kip?
All we did was talk.
Now tell me again, why are we doing this?
I don't know. All the professor said was that we needed to collect as much of that syrup as we could. He said it was real important.
Well, he can have it as far as I'm concerned. I thought I'd never get my mouth open. Don't even say it. There. I'm done. If he wants any more, he can go get it himself.
Yeah, I'm tired too. No! Sorry, Skipper.
Gentlemen, please. I'm involved in a very important experiment over here.
Oh, pardon us, Professor.
We're sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Listen, did you get some more of that syrup like I asked you for?
Well, yes, we did. We still don't understand why you want it.
Well, never mind that. Just get as much more as you can.
I'll get some. There's some way up there in that big tree next to those coconuts.
Well, why are you standing way over here, Skipper?
Professor, every time Gilligan has climbed a tree, I always get hit on the head with a coconut. And for once, I'm going to be smart enough to get out from under the tree. I'd like to see him. Oh! Oh! Oh, smart. Go! 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 Well, you get my foot.
Like I told you to hurry. Look, we've missed the cocktail hour.
Oh, how's the skipper's head, Gilligan?
Oh, fine, Professor. First he thought I was Mr. Howell, and then he wanted to dance with me.
Well, has he developed amnesia yet?
No, that was last week. Next week I hit him on the head with a coconut, and he thinks World War II's still going on.
I thought we did that last month.
Rerun.
Oh.
Professor, you just got to tell me why you want all that syrup.
Now, Gilligan, wouldn't it be pretty illogical of me to tell the least intelligent person on the island the details of an important experiment just so he can spread false information to the other castaways?
Why not? You've done it a million times before.
Good point. All right. The syrup which you found contained both chicle and resin, 2 substances which blended together when the syrup was heated to form an adhesive. Now, it's quite possible I could use this substance to secure a liberation from our enforced isolation.
Yeah, we might get off the island, too.
Yes, but I'm counting on you not to tell the other castaways.
But, Professor,
No, but, Gilligan, now, mum's the word.
All right, Professor. You can count on me. I won't tell a soul.
5, 4, 3, 2...
Professor, Gilligan said we're going to be rescued. No, I missed Gilligan was talking. Come on, how do you get us off the island?
Sorry, Professor.
Well, that's okay, Gilligan. I was going to tell everyone anyway. Well, swearing you to secrecy was the easiest way I knew how.
How are we going to get home?
Okay, I'll tell you what I know. The pancake syrup that Gilligan made was awful, but hear me through. Although on pancakes it's a flop, it makes a fantastic glue. It's remarkable, it's incredible. I admit it's not quite edible. A daydream, no, it's true, and we owe it all to you. Nothing holds like Gilligan's glue.
It's outlandish, it's fantastic, synthetic island plastic. Everyone's proud of you for finally coming through. You discovered Gilligan's glue.
It's what I've hoped for day and night. After all my blunders, I've finally done something right.
This delightful new solution is prime for distribution. We're partners, me and you, 48 and 52. We'll market Gilligan's glue. By God.
Professor, we all appreciate the fact that you've discovered this glue, but wild excitement. I mean, it's just glue.
No, don't you see? We can finally fix the hole in the boat.
Well done, my
It's
boy!
tremendous.
It beats the lunar landing. Our dreams are coming true, and we owe it all to you. Hooray for Gilligan's glue. Gilligan.
Gilligan.
Gilligan's. Gilligan's glue.
All right, everybody, let's get back to work.
We can't, Skipper. It's time for intermission.
Oh, all right. Coconut break. Crack 'em if you got 'em.
Cocktails.
I've really got to hand it to you, little buddy. You have finally done something right for a change.
Well, thanks, Skipper.
This glue's incredible. It's waterproof, it's strong, and it's permanent.
And it tastes good, too.
You're not still eating that stuff, are you?
Thanks, Skipper.
Maybe you better quit gluing for a while. Where's that varnish the professor made?
Oh, the varnish is great, Skipper. We made it from coconuts and mango juice.
Oh, you just get to work on that railing.
Aye, sir.
And stop eating that varnish!
I think it's just the bravest thing I've ever heard of, Ginger. Gilligan and the skipper risking everything, braving the stormy seas and fighting off the attack of savages.
It reminds me of a trip I took to Catalina on Mike Tyson's yacht.
Well, this piece looks like it's almost ready to be glued onto the boat.
It looks awful flimsy. Are you sure this thing will work?
If the professor says something will work, it'll work. He knows all about stresses and strains of material. He has an engineering degree from Livingston.
I just finished revarnishing the whole boat, Skipper.
Oh, that's excellent, Gilligan. Now, will you open this blueprint for me, please?
This one right here.
Mm-hmm. That one there.
Right here.
There you go.
Okay. Here we go, Skipper.
All right. Now, according to this, we need to tie these two poles together. Will you help me do that, please?
These two right here.
Those two right here.
Sorry, Skipper. Watch your fingers.
Thanks, Gilligan.
Right here, Skipper.
These two right here.
Right here. What kind of knot, Skipper?
Oh, any kind of sailor's knot will do. Just right down in there.
Hold your finger right
That's
there.
right. I've got the finger there to help you.
Okay, here we
Okay.
go.
No!
No! Oh, sorry, Skipper.
Oh, you just get out of my way.
Yes, sir. Sorry, Skipper. I didn't mean to.
Gilligan.
Skipper,
Oh.
just sit down for a minute, Skipper, okay? Just sit down, okay?
Try to be more careful from now on. I realize that you were only trying just to please, but you sometimes seem to have a nincompoop disease, and I sometimes simply want to shoot you with the gun when I'm forced to reconsider some of the things you've done. Swear, Gilligan, most of our biggest disasters on this island have been because of you. For example, was the time that you discovered Mr. Howell's wine. You had a glass and then you started swinging from a vine. You were dancing on the tables and annoying everyone. And this is really just the least of some of the things you've done.
But Skipper, I had a terrible headache the next day.
And you deserved it. The way you were carrying on, anybody would have thought you were at a frat party. But Mr. Howell, wouldn't you agree that Gilligan has caused his share of disasters on the island?
His share? My word, he's caused all of them as far as I'm concerned. Let's see, where can I begin? I recall the time I found a box upon the beach containing lots of chocolate bars. It truly was a peach. You kindly shared the chocolate bars and then you read the crate that said 10 pounds of X-Lax bars. By then it was much too late. Oh, the memory of that episode still gives me stomach pains.
Control yourself, Howell. Those palm leaves worked just fine. You climb a tree and coconuts fall right up on my head. With 83 concussions, I could easily be dead. So when you think about it, this could really be profound. I'm lucky this is farce or I'd be 6 feet underground.
But Skipper, I really
Wait a minute, I recall another time you loused things up. There was the time when you were in our dear professor's hut. You thought that he was Ginger, so you pinched him on the butt. He was handling explosives and he dropped them every one. The fire that then resulted was just one of the things you've done. Terrible fire, Gilligan, terrible fire. He was that close to developing a weight loss formula for the captain.
There's no need to bring that up, Howell. You're not so skinny yourself.
Indeed, well, Richard Simmons never sent me a thank you card.
That's only because you're too cheap to buy sweating to the old.
Chief, this coming from a man who owns the SS Minnow.
Chief, why do you go around checking the coin slots and phone booths?
You fat, overbearing, broken boat owning, Gilligan hiring, baboon butted. At least I can get a job on something besides third-rate sitcoms. You alley hell.
Wait a minute! Thought you two were supposed to be mad at me, not at each other.
Good point. Good, Captain. Yes, good, yes.
Every time we try to make it home, you make a mess.
Your total lack of aptitude is causing me distress.
And when I see you coming, my first instinct is to run. And this is a direct result of some of the things
I've done.
I swear, Gilligan, sometimes you're more annoying than that woman on the Long's Electronics commercial.
Yes, my boy. One of the great mysteries of this island is why we simply haven't killed you yet.
Haven't you seen next week's script?
No, I haven't.
Now we need some more vines for rope, and after
Well,
that...
Professor, it sounds as if you're suggesting manual labor.
Well, we all have to do our part.
But, Professor, I'm retired. I haven't worked since
when?
Heavens, I never have, come to think of it.
You've never worked? You should consider a career in politics.
Oh, come, Professor. An overblown, cartoonish millionaire running for public office? Who would have the gall to believe such a fantastic...
The President of the United States of America is exactly like a crazy old ancient locked up in a basement. Just smells worse and...
Perhaps I will help you work on the boat.
Excellent. Now, Ginger, we're going to need some food for the trip. Why don't you gather some coconuts, and Mary Ann, if you would, get us some nice fresh water.
All right, Professor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Howell.
Yes, of course.
I'm tired of this. I'm not supposed to work like this.
What's the matter, Ginger?
I'm tired of being treated like an equal. I'm not a man's equal. I'm his superior. I can use my wits to get whatever I want.
Well, how are you going to do that?
You know, I don't want a career. I don't want to tackle a man's world. I don't want to be a thriving member of the workforce. And Hillary Clinton can kiss my ass.
Ginger! Well, who's going to do the work?
Well, the men, of course.
And how are you going to get them to do that?
I know just how to do it. If you want to make a man hungry with desire, you turn the temperature way, way up. You want him to perspire.
It never gets that hot back home in Kansas. The Baptist church won't even let us dance. And even if your man gets quite excited, you know he'll make a very slow advance. I like more of an innocent, sweet romance.
We may be considered the weaker sex, but that's just fine with me. This weakness gives us certain strengths, as you can plainly see. A man can be manipulated with just a little kiss, and you can get most anything by whispering like this.
You may have to shout back home in Kansas. Your nearest neighbor might be miles away. And if you put out back home in Kansas, barefoot and pregnant is the way you'll stay. Innocent flirting is a better way.
The gentle art of persuasion is often practiced on men. You can provoke much elation with just a small touch of sin.
The gentle art of persuasion can please a sweet little guy. I'd rather get adoration with just the wink of an eye.
You know, if I put my mind to it, I bet I could get those coconuts gathered for me.
I don't know, Ginger. The men are busy working on the boat.
Watch this. Skipper! Oh, Skipper!
Yes, Ginger, what is it?
Oh, Skipper, I need someone to help me pick up coconuts.
Oh, I'd love to help, Ginger, but I'm awfully busy. I'm working on...
Skipper, you wouldn't want poor, defenseless, itty-bitty Ginger to risk ruining her hourglass figure by bending over to pick up coconuts. Especially when there's a big, strong man like you around to help. Please, for Ginger.
I'll be right back.
sure, but there are other ways to get a man to do what you want him to.
There are.
Sure, watch this. Gilligan! Oh, Gilligan, can you help me?
Well, I'd love to,
See,
Mary.
the professor wants me to go get buckets full of water, but I believe they'll just be too heavy for me to carry.
Marion, you know how much
You
I
don't
like
mind,
you.
you don't mind helping me, do you, Gilligan? Thanks. You're just the sweetest boy I know. Well,
You're right. I guess there is more than one way to skin a cat. Or a man.
the men we charm with our beauty, they come as life's little perks. Who really cares how you do it, just so long as it works.
This water's getting heavy, Skipper.
Not half as heavy as these coconuts. How did we ever get roped into? No. Hello, ladies. We've got everything under control right here.
Hi, ladies. We'll be through in just a minute, girls.
Thank you. The gentle art of persuasion is part of being a girl.
Skipper! Skipper! Oh! Little Betty, what is it? What is it, little Betty?
Skipper,
What is it?
it's a giant spider, Skipper. He's 6 feet tall, a giant spider. He's huge and hairy with hairy arms. Skipper! Skipper's a giant. Skipper! Skipper's giant spiders. It's after me, Skipper. It's after me. It's after. It's after me.
Come on, guys, I don't want it, all right?
Skipper's a giant spider. He's 6 feet tall. It's after me.
Look. Do I look like a spider to anybody? No. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. See, they don't think I look like a spider. I don't think I look like a spider. Sherman Schwartz doesn't look like... Ah! Look, you just call my agent, make sure I get paid. I want double time for this.
But
You were saying, Gilligan?
there was a giant spider, but he got crushed by a giant squash, and now everything's okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Lights! Skipper! Skipper, I'm working on the boat and I need your help.
Keep up the good work, Gilligan.
Come on, Skipper!
Just keep at it, Gilligan. Don't want to miss the news report.
Thanks,
With
Skipper.
another 5 years to go. We now close our midday news report with yet another Elvis Presley sighting. Today, the authorities were summoned to a small Midwestern city to investigate another alleged sighting of the King. This report came from a retired Marine drill sergeant, Harold Denblecker, who supposedly ordered Elvis to get a haircut. There was, however, some question concerning the credibility of the claim, as Denblecker was seen inhaling paint fumes only minutes before the interview. Elvis Presley remains at large. We now bring you a full hour of radio comedy.
Here's the story of a lovely lady who
Who'd ever believe a ridiculous storyline like that? Gilligan, you almost finished?
Yes, sir, Skipper. I just finished re-gluing the entire boat.
Well, great work. You know, little buddy, I realize I yell at you a lot, but it's times like this when I'm really very proud of you. Put her there. All right, Gilligan, you can let go of my hand.
I can't.
Why not? That's the kind of Navy thing, is it? I still support the band.
No, I mean, I really can't let go, Skipper.
Gilligan, did you have glue on your hand?
On the sleeve, too. Come on, Skipper.
Whoa! Gilligan, you just got to remain calm and logical about this. Now, I'm going to count to 3. When I get to 3, we're going to pull ourselves loose. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. 1, 2, 3!
Skipper,
What?
I wanted to surprise you. I just put a fresh layer of glue on this side.
Great work, Gilligan.
Skipper,
What?
my nose itches.
Then we'll put it in a dummy corporation in Gilligan's name and then...
Dustin, dear, look at Gilligan on the captain.
Captain!
I say, they appear to be playing charades. Oh, this looks like fun. I haven't played charades in years. Don't tell me, fellas, you're Egyptian pharaohs on a tomb. No. You're between a rock and a heart. No.
Song titles, yo!
Song titles. Up against the wall, you redneck mother.
Mr. Howard, I think they're trying to tell us something.
Oh, yeah, glue, the glue. Oh, I say they want to give me a clue. Yes,
no,
sounds
darling,
right.
I believe they're stuck.
I say, they do appear to be stuck there, by gum, and stuck, by gum, by George, I just made a witty one. I just coined a phrase.
Darling, coins are beneath you.
Just an expression, my love.
Mr. Howe, will you please try to get us off this boat?
Well, we'll get the professor.
Yes, please hurry.
Yes, stay there. Don't finish the game without me, fellas. Stay right there. We're awfully sorry to barge in without an invitation, Professor, but it's terribly important. It's about Gilligan and the captain.
They're at the beach, on the boat.
What's so unusual about that?
Well, they're not exactly on the boat. They're more against the boat. Well, they're beside the boat. They're positively mounted there.
Why, that glue is permanent. There's nothing on the island to dissolve it.
Nothing?
Do you know what it would take? It would take a solvent derivative over an organic hydroxide molecule with the properties of benzene and petroleum byproducts.
You watch your language. You're in the presence of a lady.
Forgive me. What I mean to say, well, perfume. Some perfumes have those properties.
Perfumes? Well, I have perfumes, Professor.
So you do, and I have some ice blue aqua velva. That stuff will eat through anything.
We'll get the fumes right away, Professor. Come, lovey.
Wonderful. Ginger.
Yes, Professor?
Ginger. I've got to sniff your perfume.
Oh, thank God. We'll finally get an R rating.
Where do you keep your perfume?
Behind my ear, can't you tell?
No, I need more than that.
Professor, I think you've had enough.
Where do you keep the bottle?
In my hut.
Thanks.
I think I need a cigarette.
Oh, dash it all, lovey. I've three-putted again.
Darling, I think you're doing very well, considering the fact you're using a clamshell tied to a bamboo stick for a putter.
Yes, not to mention a turtle egg for a ball. I do wish those turtles would learn to lay rounder eggs.
Perhaps they'd roll better if you boiled them.
Capital idea, my love. That way the yolks wouldn't slosh so much.
Thurston, dear, perhaps we shouldn't be enjoying ourselves so much. I mean, everyone else is preparing for the trip home. Is it proper to go golfing when everyone around you is hard at work?
It worked for Dan Quayle.
Oh, yes, it did. Darling, I hope the professor can get Gilligan and the captain loose.
Not to worry, my love. I have complete confidence in the professor.
You know, smelling those perfumes made me miss the sweet smells of home.
Ah, yes, there are so many smells we take for granted. The delightful aroma of a freshly washed Rolls Royce.
The gorgeous smell of a new sable coat.
The heady intoxication of the stock market when it opens first thing in the morning.
Oh, how I miss the smells of simple, everyday living.
Courage, my dear. Soon we'll be home and life will be fine. We'll eat caviar and drink vintage wine. All that we see will be yours and mine. Life's little pleasures.
We'll scream at the servants every day.
Threaten to beat them or just cut their pay.
Oh, we hardly pay them anyway.
Life's little pleasures. Soon we'll dream the day away.
On our private yacht.
Not the minnow.
Definitely not.
Counting how much cash we have. More than Ross Perot.
But I believe that's parole, dear.
No, it's definitely rot. If you listen to any of the man's speeches, even I'm not that crazy. Civilization, we're on our way, using our money for frivolous play, indulging our greedy little whims every day. Life's little pleasures.
European beautician styling my hair. Gold-plated toilet seats in my derriere.
We only breathe imported air. Life's little pleasures. Some say that we got our wealth through methods not so legal. But you have to cheat a bit to lead a life that's regal.
Now we're not scruffy common thieves like Mac the Knife or Fagin.
We're neatly groomed white-collar crooks like Bush and Ronald Reagan. Elvis, I never worked a day in my life.
I am a multi-billionaire's wife.
We've never dealt with trouble or strife. Life's little pleasures. Life's little pleasures. Life's little pleasures.
Gilligan, will you try to be a little more careful?
Sorry, Skipper.
You just try to be a little bit more careful from now on. Do you realize if the professor hadn't thought to use that perfume, we'd still be stuck to the side of the boat?
Yeah, you still smell pretty, Skipper.
Oh, shut up! Just get the rest of this luggage loaded.
Aye, sir.
All aboard, everybody! Time to show off!
Just a moment, Captain. You can't just jump on a boat and sail away.
Why not?
Without a launching ceremony? I mean, really.
He obviously isn't an obelisk, darling.
Obvious.
Now look here, Howell.
Good heavens, where's the champagne?
Champagne?
Domestic will do for a launching.
Where am I going to get champagne on this island?
I have a better question. Why do we have all this luggage for a 3-hour tour?
I don't know. Ask the scriptwriter. Wait a minute, don't ask the scriptwriter. All I know is that we must have some champagne. It's him! It's him!
Hey, y'all, everybody. Thank you for coming out to my book. It's been about 10 years since I've been here. Don't see me back then. I think so. I think it is. I remember you, sir. You were there. I saw you. You know what I mean? I think it is. It's true.
But I thought you were...
Hey, you can't believe everything you hear. Here's that champagne, John, I promise you. I gotta go now. I got some spam on the grill. I'm gonna make me some spam burger hamburgers.
The king.
See y'all later. Have a nice trip.
Bottled at Graceland.
Well, all right, everybody. Let's get back to work. Elvis has left the island.
Well, I feel as if someone should say something.
I know some Hawaiian from when I worked a nightclub in Waikiki. Wahine weenie hooky looky noo. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Why, that's beautiful, dear, but what exactly does it mean?
This bar is off limits to all military personnel.
All right, everybody. Let's get going. All aboard for the shipping lanes and rescue!
Hooray!
So long, farewell, I'll be to say goodbye.
Now to our island we must say goodbye. Goodbye!
Bye.
Cut! Cut! If we take time for another production number, we'll miss the high tide. Besides, that's stolen music!
I thought I recognized the sound of that music. I didn't know.
sued.
It would be sued. Take this one, mine.
Red Cap! I just don't understand, Gilligan.
Understand what, Skipper?
Well, according to the professor's calculations, we're only about 90 miles due south of Hawaii. But we've been traveling now for hours, and we just keep heading out into the open sea. Unless the compass is wrong.
Oh, the compass can't be wrong, Skipper. I just cleaned it right before we left.
You cleaned it?
Yeah, and it was real dirty, too. There was this little piece of metal jammed down in the middle of it. I took out the metal, and then I polished the copper, and then when
Gilligan, that was the magnet. That's what controls the little needle that I used to steer the boat, you idiot!
Sorry, Skipper.
Well, maybe we can steer by the sun for a while.
What sun, Skipper?
Mr. Howe, get up here!
Yes, Captain.
Looks like we'll be headed into some rough weather. I want you to tell the other passengers to stay below deck.
No, this is impossible. We can't have two disasters under the same captain.
Get below, Howell!
Heavens, I've been struck, Bobby!
Maybe we can come around to the side and come in from the west. Batten down the hatches! Batten down the hatches! Sit down, SOS!
How do you spell that?
Skipper! Look out! Oh, great going, Gilligan. You wrecked the ship beyond all repair.
He didn't mean any harm, Skipper.
Oh, neither did the iceberg that sank the Titanic.
Any idea where we are?
Not really. That wind blew us around and around for 12 days all over the map.
But surely we must be somewhere. If we weren't, we wouldn't be here.
Lithium, just ignore her.
Well, wherever we are, thanks to your expert seaman, Captain, we're all alive.
Hey, everybody! I know where we are!
How do you know, Gilligan? That wind was blowing in every direction for 90 miles an hour.
But I know, Skipper.
How do you know?
Look what I found!
My dear guests,
I'm your host, Mr. Rourke. Welcome to Fantasy Island. Oh, no!
Where's your little friend?
I don't know why you're so surprised. This is where all the actors from bad 1960s comedies wound up.
Except for the ones who wound up on the Love Boat.
For God's sake, not another boat!
You've done it again, Gilligan.
Well, I don't know why you're all so mad. I mean, life on our island was always much better than life back home. I mean, just think about it. We didn't have any cars or pollution or anything bad.
No problems.
No robberies.
No Jack LaLanne juice tiger infomercials.
Right.
You see, life on our island is much better. Safe on our islands where we will stay.
Pollution and crime are all far away.
Who really wants to go home anyway?
Life here's a pleasure. Even when things do go wrong, it's not so tragic when it's a problem that you know will be resolved in 30 minutes. Although our misadventures sometimes cause us great frustration,
It's great to know we'll always be alive in syndication.
to go or to stay, well, the answer seems clear. Everyone's happy and satisfied here.
Now that I've learned to make coconut beer.
Life here's a pleasure. Life here's a pleasure.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour. Weather started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. The minnow would be lost. The ship's aground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle, with Gilligan, the skipper too, the millionaire and his wife, the movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan's Island.
I couldn't aspire to anything higher than fill a desire to make you my own. I want to be loved by you, and nobody else but you. I want to be loved by you alone.
Now, Cynthia, tell me again why she's singing.
Odd-numbered episode, Ginger sings. Even-numbered episode, we almost get off the island.
Oh.
Well, I hope you're all hungry.
Oh, boy, pancakes!
And Gilligan found the syrup.
Well done, my boy.
Thanks, Mr. Howell. I found it over there behind that tree next to the pimento bush.
Pimento?
I think he means palmetto.
Oh, dash it all. For a moment, I thought you'd found something to put in those fake olives the professor made for my martinis.
Well, be that as it may, I want to congratulate Mary Ann on her pancakes. Here's to a new taste treat. Mmm.
Oh, how delightful. The captain is enjoying his meal.
Why, yes, he's going.
Is it nummy in the tummy, Captain?
Wait a minute, I don't think he's enjoying this at all. It looks like he's in some type of distress.
What's wrong, Skipper?
Why doesn't he open his mouth?
I don't think he can open his mouth.
These pancakes do appear to be sticking a bit.
Incidentally, I can't seem to cut these.
I've seen brand new girdles that weren't this springy.
He can't open his mouth.
I'll help you, Skipper.
No, Gilligan, go get some water. Water, yeah.
I once had a problem like this with my polo pony. Captain, here, leg in the stirrup. 1, 2, wow! Bravo, Professor!
Well, fortunately, that syrup hadn't had time to set.
Oh, thanks, Professor.
Gilligan! You idiot!
I'm sorry, Skipper.
You.
Skipper. Just have a seat, Skipper.
Gilligan, I know you mean well. Sometimes you're like a one-man disaster area, just looking for a place to happen.
Skipper, I really should
Oh,
tell
do you know how much trouble you bring me?
I know, Skipper.
Yes, quit interrupting. That syrup could have been used for cement, and you expected me to eat it?
Skipper, I really should.
Now you stop interrupting me and you listen. If you do one more stupid thing, just one more stupid thing, I am going to kill you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, what is it so important that you just had to tell me?
You're sitting on a plate full of syrup, Skipper.
Gilligan? What is stupider than putting syrup in a chair?
Sitting on a chair with syrup on it? Are you stuck, Skipper?
Yes, Gilligan, I'm stuck.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Are you absolutely positively sure?
Yes, I'm absolutely positively sure.
Good.
My word, such manners to eat and run this to be
Positively vulgar.
Marianne, is there any more of this substance anywhere on the island?
Why, yes, buckets full of it. We were going to open an international hut of pancakes.
Wonderful. I want you to get me as much as you can. I have a very interesting experiment. I think I can put this to use on.
I'm gonna go swimming.
Yes.
Oh, dash it all, Lovey, I've three-putted again.
I think you're doing very well, dear, considering you're using a clamshell tied to a bamboo stick for a putter.
Yes, not to mention a turtle egg for a ball. I do wish those turtles would learn to lay rounder eggs.
Well, perhaps they'd roll better if you boiled them.
Yes, that way the yolks wouldn't slosh so much. You know, it makes me so angry when those yolks start sloshing, I can just...
Oh, goodness, it is hot. But, honey, we were in Europe when the J Club
I
did
played
that.
a nurse once in a USO in Guam. Help! Clear. Kushka.
I say, thank you, Ginger.
Poor Tim.
Yes, it must be on Duracell. Yes, thank the professor for making that for me. Yes.
Darling, perhaps we shouldn't be enjoying ourselves so much. I mean, everyone else is preparing for the trip home. Is it proper to go golfing? Have a heart attack while everyone else is hard at work?
It worked for Dan Quayle.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah.
I hope the professor can get Gilligan and the captain loose.
Not to worry, my darling. I have complete confidence in Professor. He got my heart going again, didn't
Yes,
he?
he did. Oh, smelling those perfumes made me miss the sweet smells of home.
Yes, there are so many smells we take for granted. The heady intoxication of a freshly washed Rolls Royce.
The gorgeous smell of a new sable coat.
The delightful aroma of the stock market when it opens first thing in the morning.
Oh, I miss the smells of simple, everyday living.
Courage, my dear. Soon we'll be home and life will be fine. We'll eat caviar and drink vintage wine. All that we see will be yours and mine. Life's little pleasures.
Just workers scream at the servants every day.
Threaten to beat them or just cut their pay.
We hardly pay them anyway.
Life's little pleasures. Soon we'll dream the day away.
On a private yacht.
Not the minnow.
Definitely not.
Counting how much cash we have. More than Ross Perot.
That's Perot, dear.
No, it's definitely rot. Have you listened to any of the man's speeches? Even I'm not that crazy. Civilization, we're on our way, using our money for frivolous play, indulging our greedy little whims every day. Life's little pleasures.
European beautician styling my hair. Gold-plated toilet seats in my derriere.
We only breathe imported air. Life's little pleasures. Some say that we got our wealth through methods not so legal. But you have to cheat a bit to lead a life that's regal.
Now we're not scruffy common thieves like Mac the Knife or Fagin.
We're neatly groomed white-collar crooks like Bush and Ronald Reagan.
I just can't seem to remember a thing except for the time he saw Elvis in Lincoln Bedlam.
I never worked a day in my life.
I am a multi-billionaire's wife.
We've never dealt with trouble or strife. Life's little pleasures, life's little pleasures.